Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining me in yoga in our city virtual studio class for chair yoga. And my name is Anne. Now, please consult your medical practitioner before you engage in any exercise, and this includes yoga. It's especially important if you are pregnant, nursing, taking medication, or have a pre-existing condition. So again, welcome to this class. I'm glad you could all join me this evening. Now, on a personal note, today's yoga session will focus on principles of alignment. And the purpose of this is that it creates ease and spaciousness in the body, but also if we're aligned, our balance is much better than if we were not aligned. Because remember, if you look at the body and we divide it into sections, we have the head, we have the shoulders, the chest, and then our lower body, basically starting from the hips and moving down. So we're going to start out with our foundational pose, which again is called sitting mountain. Those of you that joined me before, or you viewed the previous classes for chair yoga, you'll see that I go into quite a lot of detail with sitting mountain. So this evening, I'm going to go through the basic steps of sitting mountain. I'm going to go through it quickly. And if you need to revisit sitting mountain in the future, because this is our foundational pose, then just please go back. You can go to the beginning when we started with chair yoga on the live streaming, and you'll see and notice that there's a lot of detail to the sitting mountain foundational pose. The other interesting thing about this foundational pose is it's an active sitting position. So let's begin. So I'm going to invite you to move forward, shimmying your buttocks on the chair, and come to the front of the chair, allowing some space in the back. And be sure your feet are flat on the floor. Now we will start with the lower body, the feet, and we will move to our upper body. So to begin with, we're going to take our foot, either your left or the right, and you're going to see that cushiony part. You have two sets, one beneath your toes, your series of your 5 toes. It's a nice fatty substance there, and or the heel. And you're going to push down on the floor in front of you. And of course, if you can't reach the floor because your chair is a little high and or you're very petite, you can use your block, and I'll show you the block. And every week I do have this present, and probably most of you have a block. So you have one for one foot and one for the other. So that's another area that you can use. You can use the block to bring your feet flat and level. Okay, but I'm tall enough. My chair is perfect for me. So I'm going to just sit a little bit closer to the edge of my chair. And I want to think of safety always. So I want to be sure that I can hold on to the sides, that my chair is nice and sturdy and stable. Okay, now as far as the space between the legs, we'll take our fists and ride them right up the thighs. And this is the space between your left and your right leg. Then next, we're going to take our hand, right hand, and push the buttocks up, or the right one. So you're going to feel the sits bones on the right and then the left. Now, if you notice, those sits bones are right on the chair and they allow for a nice steadiness in our body. And it allows us for that postural alignment. Then we're going to take our finger and we're going to place it on our belly button and ride it up like we're zipping up a zipper to the top of the head. This also in our mind's eye creates the visualization or the affirmation that we want our body to be in a perfect postural pose where we are allowing space and ease. Now, after that, we're going to notice that our chin, we want it to be parallel with the floor. So you can take your fist if you'd like and just push it up slightly. And you can either look straight ahead or you can look where the ceiling and the wall meet each other. And then we call that the dristi. And or you can look right in front and look on the floor, but not lowering your chin too much. Okay, just slightly. Then we're going to take our shoulders and we're going to bring them up to the ears and we're going to push them back and we're going to open our chest. With this opening, the breath begins to flow freely, and this creates again an ease and a spaciousness in the body. Now bring your awareness to your spine for a moment. And as you sit in this beautiful foundational pose, we hope that every one of the vertebrae aligns on top of each other or stacked, and that there's some space between each of them. Now, this is an active posture, so we are sitting actively, engaging the muscles of our lower body. And we're also stretching and strengthening our upper body, but we want our upper body to feel at ease so the breath can flow beautifully through our body. Now, this is our sitting mountain or foundational pose. So anytime maybe you need a break from the session, or maybe you just want to hang out, then you go right into the foundational pose. And what you could do is you can still have it active because you can breathe. You can use your breath, all the different pranas that we've been reviewing. Okay? Now, next, we're going to go through our props. So our props are the blocks. And you can use an elastic if you choose, but for tonight in this session, you really don't need the elastic band. And I always have my roller, but those of you that do not, use whatever you have, including your fingers and your hands. And remember that the nerve endings end in the feet. So now you can feel a wonderful sensation, and you're touching all the various organs of the body through the feet, through the nervous system of the feet. So if you've ever heard of reflexology, that is where they'll show you the soles of the feet, and each section shows a different organ of the body. All righty. Now, after we do this, we're going to bring our awareness to our intention. And this evening, I have chose the intention, I will increase my awareness and my focus. Now, I would like you to repeat it if you can out loud, but you may be in an area where you need to just do it quietly. So feel free, whichever it is, you take care of you. And I'll say it 3 times. But we're going to begin this by a breath. So let's inhale through the nose and let it out. Exhale right through the nose and or the mouth. And begin. I will increase my awareness and focus. I will increase my awareness and focus. I will increase my awareness and focus. Sometimes I'm calling it an intention, but you may hear in other places that you go that it's a positive affirmation. And the affirmations you could say silently or you could say them out loud. And one of the areas that different positive people that are big into writing books and talking about the intention or the idea of being able to be very aware and affirm the positiveness that we can do through our intention. I do usually read a couple of books on positive affirmations, and it just reminds me through the day, especially if I pick out one and I repeat it during the day, especially those moments where maybe we are not mindful, we are not present in the present moment. And then when you bring that affirmation, all of a sudden does something. It shifts our thought, our brain. Okay. Now, if you'd like, tomorrow when you wake up or even this evening when you're resting, you may want to come back to this intention. And in the morning, you may even want to look in a mirror and say this intention or another one you may have. Now we'll start with our breath. And we do call the breath the prana, that's the energy, or the pranayama, which is the various breaths that we have. And in yoga, we have a lot of a great variety. And what's so awesome about them, each of the breaths has a different purpose. Okay. The one we're going to do tonight is called the cleansing breath. And I will walk you through it. Now, the cleansing breath is a large, deep, slow breath. Then on the exhalation, you're going to take your lips and create them like a whistle, and you're going to exhale out through the lips, but very slowly. Now, we will do this 3 times. So we'll start the cleansing breath, and we're going to take a large, deep, slow breath. Ready? Inhale. And then exhale slowly, creating the whistle with the lips. And again, inhale deep. Exhale. Again, inhale. Nice full breath. Slow, deep breath. You may feel the chest expanding and moving upward. And then on the slow exhalation, lips whistle very slowly. Let the exhale out. And you may begin to feel your chest just moving down. You're letting go. So we know the lungs expand on the inhalation and contract on the exhale. Now, you could do that any time of day. It's simply called a cleansing breath. So it's just the large, deep, slow breath, and that's your inhale. In the exhalation, it's a nice idea to purse the lips like they're in a whistle, and then you can hear the sound of the breath coming out of the body and your mouth. Okay? So that's the breath we were going to do this evening. Now, last week, I remember we did do the lion's breath, and that's another great cleansing breath, also great for halitosis or bad breath. Now, just to review that quickly, we're going to take the hands, put them on our thighs, and separate the fingers. And we're going to take a nice full inhalation, come forward, stick out the tongue, and exhale deep. And roar like a lion. Let's do it again. Inhale. One more time. Boy, that doesn't sound like a lion to me. A roar. Okay. Anyhow, let's do it again. Important thing is that you stick out the tongue and you have some sort of vocal coming out of your mouth. Again, inhale. Gee, that lion is, I think that lion feels too good this evening. All righty. So that's another cleansing breath you can do. Now, if you have children at home, or if you're a teacher, whatever it is, the kids love the lion's breath. They have a ball with it because they pretend they're a lion. Okay? All righty. Now, next, let's come back to our foundational posture and just be sure we're realigning ourselves and get those feet pushed down on the floor. Now, the bottom part of the body, from the waist down, is actively engaged. Now, we therefore take those shoulders and again open up the chest. And you can feel like you're at attention, that you're present, versus sometimes we see people slumped over like this instead of sitting nice and upright in a chair or at your desk, whatever. And again, as you become more and more mindful of this, you will tend to recognize when your body is not in a nice foundational pose and you're actively engaged. So again, we go back to today's session, which is called Principles of Alignment. We're going to focus on that. Now, with the sitting mountain, we start with the feet, and usually good posture does start with the feet, but for this session today, we're going to start with the top of our head. And we're going to start with the warm-ups. And we're simply going to take our fingers, and you could just gently tap the head, tap around, forehead, feel any sensations or vibrations. Then around the eyes, ears. Now we're going to do the neck. Just warm it up. Or you can rub. Maybe you prefer to rub, especially around the neck area. And then you're going to come down. We're going to do our chest. Then we're going to come and we're going to do our arms and our shoulders in both sides and our fingers in the other side. Feel the sensations. Or you can rub, whichever floats your boat. And then you want to get the sides. And if you can, even tap your spine. Okay, tap the back. Come around to the hips. Moving down the leg and the buttocks. Moving down the legs, the side of the legs. And then all the way down to the bottom. And you can lift up your foot if possible. And tap, 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 or rub, rub, rub. And then the feet. Feels good on the feet. Feel the sensation. Sometimes I like to tap them, get a little stimulation there, and that's that. And now we're going to do the opposite leg. So the hips we did, and then coming down, both sides of the leg. Feel some sensation. And if you want to rub and tap, that's perfect. Some people do this. They take a fist and they work the touching of the body through a stimulation. Sometimes they call it tapping, but I'm not exactly sure. I just know that there's a great sensation and it feels awesome. And it stimulates, it stimulates the skin, stimulates the blood to flow through, gives it some energy. All righty. So that's starting with our warm up, and we started with the top of the head. Now, postures. Although good posture does start with the feet, especially when we're in sitting mountain, we will start at the top of our body, working our way down. So, the first place we're going to focus on for our postural alignment is we're going to focus on our eyes. Now, I used a term before, it's a spot or your drishti. And so we want to take our eyes and let's bring them to where your ceiling and your wall meet each other. Keep the neck nice and comfortable, not extended, because we want to focus on neck safety always. Now, neck safety and following the drishti, this enhances alertness. It keeps us alert and mindful and in the present moment. How many times do you find yourself that your mind is somewhere else and you don't even realize that 5 minutes went by? Yes, that happens to all of us. So, this is one of the basic movements in the alignment series that we can become, again, more alert and more attentive to what's going on in our bodies. Now, for neck safety, we're simply going to take the chin and bring it right down, just slightly, to the front of the chest. Keep those shoulder blades kissing together, and then you're slowly going to bring the eyes up to the drishti in the wall. Let's do this 3 times. And again, we're going to connect the breath with the movement. When it brings it down, chin to chest. This is the third one. I'm going to do 3 total. Come down one more time. Beautiful. And back to center. And then with the neck, we are going to try to take our chin and bring it over to the right shoulder. Stay for a moment and breathe. Now you'll notice with each movement of the neck from side to side, you're going to be able to loosen if there's any tightness in the neck, keeping and being mindful that your neck is sitting perfectly on the shoulders. Come back around. Do this 3 times each side. Now, each time, if you can move a little bit farther without any ouches into turning the chin towards your right side, and then back again to the left. And be mindful and aware of the extension of the neck a little bit further back. But very important, no ouches, no strains. Yoga is so beautiful because our bodies have so much wisdom and they tell us how far we can go. And on the exhalation, you're always doing the extension. You're extending farther on each exhalation and then come forward. Okay, from there, we did the neck, and now we're going to do arm safety. We're going to raise and lower the arms. Now, we must be very cautious and mindful and aware of our shoulders. So, how we do this is, let's say the arms come out to the sides of the body from the chair. You're going to inhale. When your hands get parallel with the shoulders, you're going to turn your hands so the palm is facing up to the ceiling, and ever so slowly and mindfully bring the arms as high up as you can, again, with no strain. And if you're down here, that's perfectly fine. Okay. You are in control of your body. And it's very important, especially if you're doing classes with other people, concentrate on what's happening with you. What sensations do you feel? You want to avoid looking and comparing yourself to anyone else. Yoga is not about comparing. It's about strengthening the physical, mental, and spiritual body, increasing our flexibility, and really connecting to our sensations. Okay, let's do it again. Arms coming, or hands and arms coming up to shoulder. To protect our shoulders, we're going to turn the palms. Now they're facing up, and try to have them pushed back slightly. So you're really opening the chest. And then if you can, you're going to come right up to the top. Now we're going to come back down slowly on the exhalation. Turn and then down. Beautiful. I believe that was the third, but let's do one more. Okay, so you're going to inhale, arms coming up, kind of push the shoulder blades together so you really are aligned beautifully. Okay, you're stretching your spine. Now, this allows us to actively engage in our movements, connecting the breath. Now, if you get to the top here and your hands or palms are together, you may want to take those fingers and stretch a little bit farther up towards the ceiling, and then coming back down, arms lowering and down. Beautiful. Now, let's just move the shoulders forward and back, and then reverse. Now, next we're going to move down. It's called forward folding. And when we do forward folding, we are moving from the hips, not from the chest, okay? So the hips come down first for the forward fold, and then the chest follows. You can slide the fingers down the legs or just leave them comfortably on the thighs. And breathe. And then slowly back up. And let's do another forward fold, being mindful of our hips. To be mindful, I put my fingers right on the hips and slowly I come down. Then my chest, then my head. Now, so you know, and I'm sure you've seen this many times, where people are even walking or sitting and their chins are coming forward, okay? Their neck, head is coming forward. That is what we call, that could also be from text neck, whereby sometimes we're reading or we have our phones and we have our fingers doing whatever they're doing. And what happens is we begin to go more and more forward like this. So we want to become very aware of that. So let's do another forward fold. Inhale, lead with the hips, and then the chest comes down and then the head. Now this also stretches and lengthens the spine. Beautiful. And then slowly back up. Now we're going to move down and you're just going to inhale. We're going to take those knees, bring it close, and you can, to your breast, and then the opposite. And let's go on the other side. Stretch it up. Stretch it up. Beautiful. One more time, and then we're going to move on to the feet and the ankles. So for the ankles, we're going to move and we're going to extend our feet out just slightly. Again, you want to be safe on your chair. And I like to hold on to the sides of my chair. We're going to make circles with the ankles. And this is wonderful. This strengthens the feet, the ankles, the support of our whole legs and body. And then reverse. Now for the feet, I like to take my heels and press them into the floor and then lift the heels up And you can see my toes, I'm on my tippy toes. And then again, I'll do this 3 times. And then one more time. Beautiful. All righty. Now I'm going to invite you to come back. If you'd like, you can put your back, your shoulders against the back of the chair. And we're going to connect with our full body. We're going to be sure that we feel aligned and open. Do you feel the space, the spaciousness of the body, allowing the lungs to breathe freely? The spine elongated with the natural curve, the neck sitting perfectly or actively on the shoulders. And you may want to just revisit the body for the sitting mountain, being sure that the chest is open, shoulder blades together. And let's take 3 full breaths this evening. Simply inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Beautiful. And now open your eyes. And again, thank you everyone for joining me this evening. And this course or today, or this session, was to increase our basic awareness of how we sit, how we engage our bodies in alignment. We want postural alignment. What we do on the chair, if we are able to stand up, we want to have that same awareness, opening the chest, keeping the feet nice and steady on the floor. All this helps to create a nice stable balance, just like our chair. Okay, everyone, I'm proud of you. Be proud of yourself and notice that you are increasing your awareness and focus through our session. And I also invite you every single day practice the breathing. If you can do a nice stretch in the morning and maybe in the middle of the afternoon, or you may be sitting at the desk and you're feeling, oh boy, tight, then you again can just come and do the breath and stretch. So thank you again, everyone, for joining me. And remember that you can go back over the various sessions that started around October, November. And you can tune into any of the yoga in our city's virtual studio. And I'm Ann for Chair Yoga. So again, thank you, everyone. Have a great week and enjoy. And I'll see you next week, same time, same station. Bye-bye.